They say success never comes easy, and for Shania Twain, this couldn't be truer. Born as Eileen Regina Edwards on August 28, 1965, in Windsor, Ontario, she grew up in a home filled with chaos, poverty, and constant struggle. Her parents divorced when she was just 2, and her mother, Sharon, later married Jerry Twain, a man from the Ojibwa community. Shania and her siblings took his last name, but their new life was far from easy. The family lived in a small, cold house in Timmins, Ontario, where hunger and hardship became part of daily life. Money was always short, and young Shania often went to school hungry. She wore the same old clothes for days, trying to hide the pain behind her quiet smile. But what truly made her childhood even darker were the deep family conflicts and the violence she witnessed at home. She once spoke about how her mother was often abused, and little Shania wished she could protect her but felt powerless. Yet even through this pain, something inside her kept burning, a love for music. Singing was her escape from the noise and sadness around her. By the age of 8, she was already performing in local bars, singing songs late at night to help support her struggling family. Most children her age were asleep in bed, but Shania was standing under bar lights, her small voice filling rooms full of strangers. Her passion for music wasn't just about fame or money, it was her lifeline. She once said that when she sang, she felt free. Even at such a young age, she showed signs of the strength that would later make her one of the biggest names in country music history. Life didn't give Shania much time to dream. At just 21, tragedy struck when her parents died in a car crash in 1987. It was one of those moments that could break even the strongest soul. Suddenly, she was not just a grieving daughter, she was the guardian of her younger siblings. Most people would have collapsed under the weight of that responsibility. But Shania didn't. She moved back home to Timmins, taking care of her brothers and sisters while also trying to survive financially. To make ends meet, she took a job at Deerhurst Resort, a hotel in Ontario that featured live musical shows. There, she performed for tourists and guests, developing her stage presence and learning how to entertain large audiences. Her powerful voice and natural charm didn't go unnoticed. Even though she had gone through so much pain, she never let it silence her passion for music. Every night she sang with all her heart, channeling her sorrow into something beautiful. It was at Deerhurst that her dream began to take shape. She caught the attention of music producers, and soon after, her life took a new turn. In 1993, she released her first album, Shania Twain. It didn't sell well, but it opened doors. It showed the world that a new star had arrived. The young woman who once sang to feed her family was now stepping onto a global stage. She was determined not to let her past define her future. Shania's big break came in 1995 when she met producer Robert "Mutt" Lang, who would later become her husband. Lang believed in her talent and helped her create a sound that was bold and new, a blend of country and pop that had never been done quite like this before. Together, they released The Woman in Me, an album that completely changed her life. Songs like Any Man of Mine and Whose Bed Have Your Boots Been Under topped the charts, and Shania became a household name almost overnight. Her next album, Come On Over, 1997, was an even bigger success. It became the best-selling studio album by a female artist in any genre and the best-selling country album of all time. Hits like Man, I Feel Like a Woman, You're Still the One, and from this moment on made her an international icon. Her music videos, energy, and confidence helped redefine what a country star could be. She wasn't just a singer, she was a movement. Behind the scenes, however, Shania stayed humble. She often spoke about her love for her fans and how grateful she was for every stage she stepped on. But fame came with its own challenges, endless tours, pressure to stay at the top, and the exhaustion that comes from constantly giving your all. Still, Shania pushed forward with a smile. For a while, it seemed like nothing could stop her. Just when Shania was at the peak of her career, life dealt her another painful blow. Around the early 2000s, she began to notice that her voice wasn't the same. Singing became difficult, and she struggled to hit notes that once came easily. After years of confusion and medical tests, she was diagnosed with Lyme disease, a serious illness caused by a tick bite. The disease had affected her vocal cords, leading to dysphonia, a condition that made it nearly impossible for her to sing. For someone whose whole life revolved around her voice, this was devastating. She went from performing to millions to wondering if she would ever sing again. Shania later revealed that during this period she felt lost, broken, and unsure of her future. She tried different treatments, therapy, and vocal training, but recovery was slow. Her once golden voice had become fragile, and the uncertainty took a deep emotional toll on her. To make matters worse, her personal life began to crumble. Her husband, Mutt Lange, had been her closest partner in both music and life. But in 2008, the world was shocked when it was revealed that Mutt had been having an affair with Shania's best friend, Marie-Anne Thiebaud. The betrayal was painful beyond words. For years, she had trusted both of them deeply. Losing her husband and her best friend at the same time felt like another tragic chapter in her life. After the double heartbreak, losing her voice and her marriage, Shania stepped away from the spotlight. She retreated to Switzerland, where she spent years away from public life, trying to heal. The once fearless performer who lit up the world stage now lived quietly, reflecting on everything she had endured. But deep inside, she wasn't done yet. Instead of letting pain define her, Shania turned it into strength. She started writing again, pouring her emotions into words and melodies. And something unexpected happened. She found love again. In a twist that sounded like a movie, she fell in love with Frédéric Thiebaud, the ex-husband of the very woman who had betrayed her. Both had gone through the same heartbreak, and together they found comfort, understanding, and peace. They married in 2011, proving that love can bloom again even after deep betrayal. During this period, Shania also began her long journey to recover her voice. Through surgeries and therapy, she gradually regained control, though it would never be quite the same. But instead of trying to sound like the old Shania, she embraced her new voice, softer, deeper, and more emotional. It became a symbol of her resilience, her survival, and her courage to keep going when everything seemed lost. In 2017, Shania made her long-awaited comeback with the album Now, her first studio release in 15 years. It was a deeply personal record that spoke about pain, healing, and finding strength again. Songs like Life's About to Get Good captured her new outlook on life, hopeful, grateful, and full of light. Fans from all over the world welcomed her return with open arms, and critics praised her honesty and emotional depth. She went on to perform in Las Vegas, headlining her own residency shows where thousands of fans sang along to her timeless hits. Her stage presence was as powerful as ever, and her voice, though changed, carried more heart than before. Shania proved that true artists don't fade, they evolve. Her story wasn't about perfection. It was about perseverance. Even in her 50s and 60s, she continued to inspire new generations. In interviews, she often spoke about the importance of self-love and resilience. "I've learned to accept myself completely," she once said. "My scars remind me of how strong I am." Her journey became a message of hope for anyone facing hardship, a reminder that you can always rebuild your life, no matter how broken it feels. Today, Shania Twain stands not just as a music legend, but as a symbol of strength and survival. From a hungry little girl in Canada to a global superstar, her journey has been filled with ups and downs, love and loss, pain and triumph. She broke barriers in country music, blending styles that others thought couldn't mix, and became an inspiration for countless female artists who followed. Her songs continue to play across the world, in homes, in cars, in hearts. For millions, Shania's voice is more than music. It's motivation. Her story teaches us that success means nothing without resilience, and that real beauty comes from standing tall after falling down. Every time she steps on stage, every time she smiles, she reminds the world that hope is stronger than pain. Shania Twain's life is proof that even when your voice fades, your spirit can still sing louder than ever. She turned heartbreak into harmony, loss into lyrics, and tragedy into triumph. For all those who think their story is over, Shania's life whispers one powerful truth: it's never too late to rise again. After years of heartbreak and silence, Shania Twain slowly began to rebuild her confidence, not just as a singer, but as a person. She once admitted that there was a time she didn't recognize herself anymore. The fame, the loss, the betrayal, all of it had changed her. But deep down, she still had that same fiery spirit that had carried her through the hardest years of her childhood. When she finally stepped back into the public eye, she did it on her own terms. She wasn't chasing charts or trying to prove anything. She simply wanted to share her story and connect with her fans again. Many people expected her to sound the same as she once did, but Shania embraced the fact that her voice had changed. She told her fans, "This is me now, a little older, a little rougher, but still me." That honesty made people love her even more. During interviews, she opened up about her struggles with self-worth and fear. For years, she had lived in the shadow of her own success, worried that she could never reach those same heights again. But she learned that life wasn't about comparing the past and the present. It was about accepting growth. She began to understand that every scar, every mistake, every heartbreak had shaped her into who she was. Shania started using her platform to speak openly about mental health, self-acceptance, and recovery. She reminded her fans that it's okay to be imperfect, to take time to heal, and to start again, no matter how late it feels. The same woman who once sang in smoky bars to survive was now using her voice to inspire millions. It was a full-circle moment, from pain to purpose. In the years following her comeback, Shania Twain didn't slow down. She became a mentor and role model for younger artists trying to find their place in an industry that often forgets its legends. She continued to perform live, tour around the world, and connect with her fans through documentaries and interviews. One of the most memorable moments came in 2022 when she appeared at major award shows, stunning audiences with her timeless beauty and energy. Her signature smile, cowboy hat, and confident walk reminded everyone that she was still the same unstoppable woman they had fallen in love with decades earlier. Her performances weren't just about music. They were about emotion, storytelling, and connection. In 2023, she released her 6th studio album, Queen of Me. The album's message was clear. It was about independence, empowerment, and joy. Shania described it as a celebration of freedom. Freedom from fear, judgment, and limitations. Songs like Waking Up Dreaming showed her optimism and her refusal to let age or time slow her down. She said in interviews that she felt more alive than ever, and her energy proved it. She also began appearing in television shows and movies, exploring new creative paths. Whether she was performing on stage or acting in a role, her warmth and authenticity shone through. Fans saw that she was not just a singer, but a woman who had truly lived, someone who had faced loss, betrayal, and sickness, yet still managed to smile and move forward. At an age when many artists think about retirement, Shania was still reinventing herself. Her concerts became celebrations of life, filled with color, laughter, and heartfelt messages. She reminded her audience that growing older doesn't mean fading away. It means shining brighter because you've survived more storms. Behind all the awards, platinum albums, and stage lights, Shania Twain has always remained deeply human. She has spoken many times about her love for nature, her horses, and the peace she finds in quiet moments. She once said that she feels most like herself when she's outdoors, surrounded by trees, fresh air, and silence. It's in those moments that she remembers the little girl from Timmins who dreamed of a better life. Even with her fame, she never let success change her values. She often talks about gratitude and kindness, saying that fame is temporary, but character lasts forever. Many people who have worked with her describe her as humble and down-to-earth, always treating everyone with respect, from stage crew members to fellow musicians. She also continues to use her platform to help others. Through her foundation, Shania Kids Can, she supports underprivileged children who face poverty, abuse, or neglect, issues she personally understands from her own childhood. The foundation provides food, education, and emotional support to kids who need it most. Shania once said, "I know what it feels like to go to school hungry or feel invisible. I never want another child to feel that way." Her compassion shows that her success was never just about music. It was about making a difference.